Hey, welcome to Dog Talk Live number 70. That is awesome. We have 70 times we have chatted about dogs. Hope everyone can appreciate it. That's a lot. This week we're on twice. I think we're going to stick with that two to three. It's just a crazy busy time for me. I have a full kennel full of training dogs. We've got a litter going home today. We've got another litter on the ground. So it's just that busy time of year. Going to look into again, seeing if there's an easy way to set up and do a podcast. There's been an app on one of the podcasts I listen to that the companies are advertising that sounds fairly simple, so it would probably be similar to Dog Talk Live. And what we would probably do then is set up where we do one Dog Talk Live exclusive during the week and possibly one podcast where we're going to field questions and topics from people so that it can be not quite as choppy, I guess, as our Dog Talk Lives go, where I have to read questions. I would have them in advance. So we'll see. Otherwise, we'll just stick with this format because it is very easy, it is very effective, and it is fun for me to do, and I think a lot of other people enjoy it as well. As you guys are checking in, please let me know where you are from. Please let me know what questions you have. Dog Talk Lives run 15 to 30 minutes, and they basically focus on questions about puppies, dogs, training, or hunting. Good morning, Mr. Hopkins. Good to see you. I have no idea what allergens are in the air right now, but my goodness, I feel like I have to sneeze all the time. So if I sneeze a few times, I do apologize. No, it's not COVID. It is allergies. Whatever's in the air here at our place, I am just, it has just got me messed up. So hello from Elkhorn, Wisconsin. Good to see you, Jim. Right near my house. I am in southern Wisconsin. Today we are dealing with thunderstorms in our area. We're supposed to get probably about an inch of rain, which I wish we didn't get an inch of rain, but at the same time, it's been very dry. We went from being flooded on our property to getting closer to being where we don't have standing water. It is a wetland, so we do have standing water, usually in the spring. But the corn in our area is getting very crunchy looking. So farmers need some rain. I hope we get a good rain today. Hopefully it's all day so that it soaks in and doesn't just run off and then go from there. Good morning, Deborah from Indiana. Braden, how you doing, buddy? How's that puppy doing? Good to see you. Again, as you have questions, please type them in as a comment. If you're watching this after the fact, you can comment on YouTube, because we're on YouTube Live as well, and put it in as a comment to the post. Or you can, if you're on Facebook, you put it in as a comment after the fact. I'll always come back and check and try to answer your questions. But again, yesterday I put the dogs in the water for the first time. Big day. I actually had a client out here that was here to watch his dog run, and he remarked how neat it was to see the dogs learn. And it was. It was cool. The dogs, to get dogs into water, I actually picked an area that had a heavy weed bed, and it was actually kind of funny because the dogs thought they were going to be running on ground, so they would just take off to the pond and hit the weed bed on the pond, and then they were in the water. Memphis wants everyone to know that she is here and is still the co-host for Dog Talk Live. So please, everyone, say hi to Memphis. She's doing good today. She's gonna lay down on me, I think, the way she's headed. And yeah, she's decided that she wants to be like a baby. There we go. So yeah, Memphis is still the co-host. Scarlett is trying to usurp her right now, biting my hand and trying to get me to play with her. But doing good. We are coming up on July 1st. That means I have 2 months of dog training left here. We do obedience dogs year-round, but the main bulk of our dogs we get in are summer. We take in a certain amount of gun dogs. Then we also do obedience dogs. And what a lot of people do is they board their dogs with us, and they'll have us do the obedience training at the same time. Kind of a neat thing for them. Cost pretty much the same. and gets them a product or gets their dog a product where the dog is taught all of the boundaries needed so that they can take the dog out and really enjoy him, and especially off leash. So I cannot wait for the next 2 months to pass because I'm so fired up about hunting season. Next week we are going up to get our duck blinds ready. I will try to take some pictures and post it during Dog Talk Lives. But it is going to be fun because we are going to get duck blinds ready and really get things set for the year instead of waiting until like 2 weeks before the season, which was what we normally do. And then you're breaking down the cover in front of your blinds, but you're also, it's just, you never get everything done. I do have some ideas. We have teal season from September 1st through the, I think it's 8th or 9th. But I think what we are going to do this year is I've got these large sleds from Four Rivers layout boats. I've got these large decoy sleds, and I think what we're going to do, because teal don't seem to be the sharpest duck in the shed, I guess would be the best way to put it. So it seems like they do not care about the blinds. So I think what we'll do is we will take and hunt different blinds and take stuff to fix those blinds up, hunt in the morning, have the sleds there, and then after we're done hunting, work on the blinds so that we can get them all shored up and ready for big duck season. So let's see, we're going to check for some questions. Good evening, Faya. I think that should be right. Hello, Eva in Ohio. And let's see, let me get Memphis off here. She's like scratching my neck, trying to put her paws around me. So yeah, we don't have any questions yet. Please let me know if you have questions. We would love to talk to you. Soggy Acres merchandise. We have t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, and hooded sweatshirts, as well as hats. So I will put a post up probably after the first of July. Probably wait till after the 4th. With the opportunity for people to buy Soggy gear and get yourself Soggified. And go from there. We got Brad. Speaking of thunderstorms, my dog does not like them, but he's okay in the field when shooting guns. Recommendation when it comes to thunderstorms: should I bring him out and sit him in the garage and get him used to it at a different, or is there a different tactic? Brad, my dog Lucy, that was always the one that we called the singing Labrador that we took at shows, was a fun little hunting dog, but she hated thunderstorms. I don't know how you would get them desensitized to that, because if I had to guess, I would think that it's not only the thunder, but it's the rumbling of the ground when you have a bad storm. What I do is I just hang out with the dog and I just pet them and get them so that they are at ease and feel safe. She would always come running in if there was any thunder. I mean, you could barely hear it. She'd come running in by us, and then we would just love on her and basically let her know that everything was okay. From there, I know some people that have used the Thunder shirt and said that it didn't really work well. As far as other ideas, if people have any, throw them up there. But I think it's one of those things that when your dog is sensitive to that and scared of that, the biggest thing you could do is just support them. Andy, if you were going to spay a dog, at what age would you recommend? Andy, your vet is going to probably tell you somewhere between 6 and 12 months. I know some vets are now saying that you should wait for the dog to go through a heat cycle. I don't agree with that. Vets say that UTIs are a huge problem. Man, I've owned a lot of dogs, and I've had UTIs. In my females, but I haven't had a huge number of them before the dog's heat cycles. So I would wait. I know some vets do it too early. Some vets do it at like 3 months. I don't agree with that. I would probably peg it between 6 and 12 months would be my personal opinion, but I would talk to your vet on that. Marty, hello from Massachusetts. Jeff, what is the name of the scent stick you put on the bumpers? Do you have any favorite time of year for scent training? Marty, I use Conquest scent sticks. If you go to Conquest's website, conquest.com, you can get a 10% discount when you put in the code Soggy Acres at checkout. I use the scent on my bumpers all the time, just for a little bit more realism. I mean, if you're really doing hardcore scent training, you need to get scent-free soap. You need to wash your bumpers or whatever item you're hiding, and then use rubber gloves and only put the scent on it. Obviously, the dog's going to still smell plastic, but you want to make sure that they don't smell your big smelly hand. We have a lot of oil on our hands as people, so when you're doing training, whether it's scent training or antler training, you want to make sure that you are cleaning the item thoroughly to get your own scent off of it. That's why if you throw a tennis ball in a big, tall field of grass, the dog can find it, because we as people, we stink. So that is the truth of it. Hello, John. How are we doing today? Good to see you. I've got a thing here. Trying to. All right, we've got. How is Pappy doing in his new home? He was our female Reba's sire. Michael asks on YouTube. Pappy is doing awesome. Pappy was the dog that we had on our TV show. He was a wonderful little dog. He ended up where he could no longer sire litters. It's funny because on that note, I had people that were angry with us because we sold Pappy and put him in a home, and how terrible it was because, oh my gosh, it shows that we're a puppy mill. Couldn't be farther from the truth. When you have a kennel, you always have to have stud dogs. So it turns into when a dog is young and can still be rehomed, the best thing for them, honestly, is putting them in a home, because we have our house dogs here, and you have to bring another dog in. You can only have so many dogs in the house. I mean, my goodness, we have 5 to 6 labs in the house at a time. We do have a cleaning service that comes because we have to keep up with it. But Pappy was placed in a home in Texas. He has kids in his home. He hunts probably more than I do now. And he's just got a great life. So Pappy did end up in a wonderful situation. We were very, very, careful about where we placed him because he was a very nice dog and one of our pets. We had a couple of guide services that really wanted to buy him, and I did not go for that because I did not want him to have a life where he lived in a kennel. So yes, he has a family and he is doing wonderful. Thank you for asking about Mr. Pap. All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions? Again, as we check in, please let us know what questions you have. Let us know what we can help you with today. We're at 12 minutes, 30 seconds, so we're going to probably plug away for another couple of minutes here. But Dog Talk Lives, they're only as good as the questions we get. So it really helps me and helps everybody else if you have questions. A lot of times you get questions that people have that they don't know how to ask it, or maybe they've always thought it and didn't think of asking it. But please put your questions out there, and we'd love to help you. As far as our training this year, I made a big change. With this last group, I changed to where I was using a wooden dowel as a for the beginning of force fetch, and then transitioned that to bumpers. I always just went right with a bumper to force fetch and used it all the way through. You get dogs that are, I guess the best way to describe it would be bumper sour, where they don't want to go pick a bumper up because they're kind of basically hating on you and the bumper because of having to put them through that part of training. I have had a revelation in training after, owning dogs for 20 years. Used it's actually a wooden bone, and the dogs then transition to the bumpers and are all retrieving to hand at 3.5 weeks. That is something that is probably a week or two ahead of where we were at with all the dogs. And it is something that has it's put a smile on my face because it's made it so that I have them further along and they're really having fun. The big thing with your training, when you're putting your structure in place, remember, training is not about training a dog to hunt. They're bred for that. It's training a dog that they need to hunt for you. So it's teaching them structure, and everything is about control. The big key to getting them so that they progress along is getting them to have fun. Once they have fun and then you're instituting your control at the same time, it doesn't affect them in the same manner than if you are trying to get them to do stuff on the field while still instituting your control. Once things are fun, the dogs progress and you turn into more of a teacher rather than a trainer. You still have things that you work on. We are retrieving to hand on a front finish. We still have to come in and come around to the side and finish at a heel, where the dog sits and offers you the item they're retrieving. but it has been really cool with this group to see that. Now, all of these dogs that are in this group are puppies of mine, except for one, so that obviously helps because we know that they have great breeding and they have all the great drives. Not that our dogs are perfect, but you get dogs in where people think because it's a hunting breed that it's going to hunt. But it has been a really interesting transition from where we've come off the table on force fetch and to being able to start field work a little bit earlier this year. Yesterday, again, was getting them in the water. Always interesting getting dogs in the water for the first time. We always have one dog that we get out and let them be the dog to show them how fun it is. But it was interesting in the fact that these dogs all went in, and a lot of them went in because they were running and thought that the weeds on the edge of the pond were actually part of the lawn. So it was kind of funny. One of the dogs came up, this little black male named Jaeger. He came up and it was like, oh my God, I'm blind, because he had pond weeds over his face. So it's something I should have videoed. Didn't think to video it, but it was interesting. All right, we've got Florida checking in. How we doing there, Mr. Winchester? Good to see you. Again, we are at 15 minutes, so we are going to do a last call on questions. Last call. If you, again, have questions after the fact, please put them up. I will come back and answer them at a later date. We're going to be back next week at least twice. Again, 2 to 3 times is what my goal is. I know Tuesday will not be one because we are working on our blinds. I will take some pictures so that people can see them and kind of see what we're doing. But it is something that we are getting into the dog days of summer, which means, for me, that fall is coming in hunting season. So all of that work that we put into our dogs all year, we get that 60 to 90 day window where we can take them out and run them, and that's coming soon. So on that note, I've got Scarlett biting me. She wants to go out. She wants to play. So I gotta get the dogs out in the yard here in between rainstorms and let them run around a little bit. Hope you guys have a blessed weekend. Take care. Have a wonderful time. Get outside. Enjoy the summer. Get your dogs outside. That's what more of us need. Take care. God bless.